If we told you our next guest is a neuroscientist, you may think he's going to talk about brain surgery. Well, he is in a way, but brain surgery without the scalpels, because Dr Kerry Spackman helps high performers win, hence his new book, The Winner's Bible. We've got that here with us. I'll show you the cover of it. And it's not your average old self-help book. He is just off the plane from America. Thanks for coming in straight from the airport today, Kerry. I'm interested in how you describe your job.
My job is to help people become champions or winners and get the very best out of themselves. And I think the problem is most people don't know how to do that. And the reason is, if I can use a little visual aid here,
sure.
Is that okay? I think most self-help books assume the brain is just one big computer, and that all you have to do is run certain thoughts through your brain and you'll be a champion. If you actually turn the brain over, you'll see it's got lots of different modules in here. Some of these modules run on words, some of them don't run on words at all. So, for example, we all know we shouldn't eat chocolate for dinner if we want to lose weight. Knowing that's a logical thing, but not wanting to eat the chocolate is completely different. So part of my job is to get all these modules aligned, because most people have parts of their brain aligned and other parts doing completely the wrong thing. So we know what we want to do, but we can't do it. So I've used genuine tools based on how the brain actually works, not how we think it works.
So you bring the logic and the more unknowable.
The emotional part of your brain is really powerful. It's often unconscious and you don't even know what different parts of your brain are doing. And there's some great research where they look at these different parts of your brain and find out what they're trying to do. So there's not actually one alley in there. Really and truly, there's lots of little alleys with their own agendas and their own dreams and desires. And if they're all pulling in different directions, you can see you're not going to be a champion. So I guess the short answer is that I help align all these little modules to be more effective.
Your special thing has been, you're renowned for taking people from say, a top 10 position, let's pick a sportsman,
yep.
To number one. Mm-hmm. That's what you specialise in. You've dealt with many athletes. You've had some spectacular successes. World champion racing driver Lewis Hamilton is one of them. Tell me what you did with him.
Well, I can't talk about any one athlete, of course, because that's confidential, and I think that's really important. But again, the simple answer is, if you take a world number 3, 4 or 5, these are highly motivated, highly skilled people. They really are. And often you'll find that certain parts of their brain aren't aligned with the rest, and if you can realign them, then all of a sudden their performance goes up 2 or 3 notches.
OK, so let's talk about a racing driver then. Mm-hmm. Is it as simple or as difficult as keeping them completely calm through what is a highly stressful situation for any human being, a Formula 1 race, and therefore being able to work on their performance?
I think every person's an individual. That's the most important thing. So in my book, for example, I have maybe 100 different tools, not just 1 or 2 little things that you do. And so the first thing I need to do when I'm working with any world-class athlete is to find out what's going on inside their brain. So normally the first hour, I just listen and understand all the little key things going on. And then what I try to do is work out what's the key thing I need to adjust. And so some of them will be very relaxed and stress is not an issue. Another person may be having difficulty remembering fine details of what the car is doing. So it could be a computational problem. So you've really got to look at the individual, find out the specific tool for the specific issue.
You're not just working with sportsmen, though. You're actually doing some work with Gordon Ramsay's team in New York. Another high-pressure situation, actually, a big kitchen.
Exactly. And so they're trying to be the best in the world at what they do. And so the question is, can we use the tools that have made people perform at the world-class level, can we apply those into a business situation? And the answer is yes, it works.
Obviously, I mean, you've worked with the All Blacks. In fact, you're under contract with the New Zealand government to work with the All Blacks. Mm-hmm. How does your work differ when you're working with an individual to working with a team? And I suppose that would go for Gordon Ramsay's outfit as well. Yes,
I don't ever really deal at the team level. That's not my expertise. So if you take the All Blacks, they have a very well-organised infrastructure. I deal only with the player. And the same when if I'm talking with Gordon Ramsay's people, I'll deal with the individual person itself. And because at the end of the day, the individuals make up the team.
Does that then allow them to relate better and work better with other members, though?
Absolutely. If you're slightly dysfunctional, if I can use that word, clearly you're not going to perform well. And if you're not performing well, it has a flow-on effect to the rest of the team.
You also work with well, I suppose the best way to describe them is Hollywood celebrities. Mm-hmm. What can you offer to a person in that sort of a job?
Well, most of these people are quite interesting. Normally you don't become a celebrity overnight unless there's something quite special about you. And
by special, do you mean needy and pathologically insecure?
No. You meet these people and you think there is something special about them. They've got some charisma, character. I mean, you two on TV here today, there's something about you. But often what happens is they've been so focused on their career, so one-dimensional, that other aspects of their life are left behind. So they may be staggeringly successful on the stage, but unsuccessful in a relationship, for example. Now, I'm not a relationship coach. That's not my job. My job is to try and help them become as well-rounded and as balanced as they can, and out of that, they will probably do a better job in the other things around them.
You're not a traditional therapist, though.
No.
Do you get panic calls in the middle of the night?
No.
Help me, doctor.
No, and that's not my job. And my job is really just to give them tools, and I let the people work on themselves. It's not, I don't do the work. I just align the tool with and give them the expertise to use the tools themselves.
Okay, so in your opinion, considered opinion, is this the last self-help book that I will ever need to buy?
Well, I guess the only thing I can say to that, because it's not my job to say that...
Because there's a market flooded with self-help books, aren't there?
Well, I never set out to write this book. It's not like I sat down and said I want to write a self-help book. It's because these world-class athletes who I'd worked with said, you've got to write this down. In fact, the title, The Winner's Bible, came from a little thing I did for one world champion, and I put his name on and his Winner's Bible, and he said, that's fantastic, you've got to write that down.
It's a great title.
And it seems to work. And you work with these people, and then... you do 3 or 4 sessions and it's done.
Was it easy to write it all down, though? Because you work, as you've emphasised, you work very much with the individual.
Yeah.
So can you offer a broad spectrum for everybody just to pick up and read?
Yes, this is a result of all the work I've done with a whole pile of people. So it's only tools that have worked in here. So it's comprehensive. It's not like 7 habits or anything like that where you've got 7 ideas. It's a whole pile of tools that have worked over the years.
OK, Kerry Spackman, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Fascinating, the results he's managed to get with all sorts of people.
You see, the thing is, Kerry, I want to be a winner, but I just don't have to put any effort in.
That is the problem.
There's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts.
Can't you just make me a winner?
No.
Give me money or something?
No.
He's not Dumbledore. He can't just wave his magic wand over
That's
you.
the problem. I mean, God, it's so hard, isn't it?
Poor you.
It's so hard enriching one's life.